Hello everybody, and Carlos here with a brand new episode. I'm babifly, and today we're playing Lucifer Within Us. It's a brand new game from Kid Fox Games, the company responsible for bringing to us Shattered Planet, The Shrouded Isle, a game that we've played in the past, and what's more, Moon Hunters, Six Ages, all these flavorful and unique games. So we expect the game to have some quite interesting mechanisms and a rather interesting premise, but from what I got from the reviews and stuff was that it's about unsolving a religious crime. So let's step right into it and check on the game and see, is it that good or not? So we are under the Two Brothers case, 100 years without murder, 100 years without demonic possession. Then this. I'm Sister Ada, exorcist and investigator. This is my testament to the massacre at St. Walpurgis Abbey. It is truth. Do not believe the lies of my accusers. St. Walpurgis Abbey Cybernetics Workshop. So the game has speech. In that case, I need to actually raise the voice, to raise the sound. But still keep the music down, I guess. Let's resume.
I am Virgil, Chief Inquisitor at St. Walpurgis Abbey. We may be in need of your talents as an exorcist. You can survey the evidence yourself, but I think you'll agree.
Okay.
Has there truly been a murder?
Oh, I like our voice. We're quite assertive ourselves, right? And I really like the style, the comic book style.
It seems so. A respected priestess, Mother Miriam, passed this morning under suspicious circumstances. A demon may be present. Here, even now, possessing someone.
You don't say.
What happened exactly?
Mother Miriam was only recently appointed as successor to Abbot Gregory. This morning, she came to the workshop to receive her coronet of office.
Something went wrong with the installation.
Yes, to put it mildly, the coronet oversurged, killing Mother Miriam. Brace yourself for the sight.
Wow, what am I about to
The
see?
workshop operators, Gideon and Ruben, are the prime suspects. They are brothers, right?
Yes, but it's highly out of character for Gideon or Ruben to kill someone. Even so, they were the only ones present when Mother Miriam died.
Daemons nurture our sinful desires into unthinkable actions, Virgil. One of the brothers has surely been seduced by a daemon.
Yes, we are assertive.
So it is. I will unmask his lies and cast out the daemon within him.
The daemon. Did you know that actually the word daemon comes from the Greek word daemon, which actually means a new deity, a new god, a new divine being, something introduced from outside as an entity into a brand new philosophical and moral system. That's what a demon is what a demon actually means in ancient Greek, so to say. Because right now in Greek, the word daimonos means the demon, the one that you know. But this is the root of the word. That's just it.
May Ein Soph's will be done. Amen.
Ein Soph. Is that our God?
To exorcise a daemon, we must uncover 4 things. First, the suspect. We must identify which sinner is possessed by a daemon. Second, the opportunity. When exactly was the murder committed? We can pinpoint the opportunity by analyzing each suspect's testimonies.
Okay.
Third, the means by which the murder has been committed. The means
Makes
can be
sense.
found among the physical evidence at the scene of the incident.
Okay. I think she says all these things just for us to understand what we're expected to find in the game.
Fourth, the motive of the murderer, which can be found in their inner world, their sanctum. The motive will tell us which daemon possesses the sinner.
Very well. Let us begin our holy work.
Let us begin our holy work then. Whoa! I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. That's Miriam, Mother Miriam. Ah, that's the victim, newly appointed voice of Ensoth, who was scheduled to receive an aether coronet implant at the workshop. Have you examined the explosion's remains? If any component of the coronet is missing, that would suggest that the incident was a sabotage. Cool, let's examine things. Wow, see here, there has been some serious conflagration here. A huge explosion. The Mother Miriam's body, a viable piece of physical evidence. A new entry is now added to your evidence panel, which can be found on the lower left of your display. Here. There you can access detailed information about the Mother Miriam's body. You must present them to the suspects in order to discover any contradictions. Cool. Yeah. So, Mother Miriam's body. The body is completely unharmed, but her head has exploded into a mess of blood and bone fragments. Poor lady. The coronet's remains found near Mother Miriam's body, parts of the amplifier component and bits of the casing have survived the explosion. Okay. Anything else? Already recorded in notes. What's that? A door button. Let's examine it. A new piece of evidence. Let's examine it now. Door controls. Used to open and close the consecration chamber. Only operable from outside the chamber. Usage records show that it was opened twice this morning. Okay. Is that so? Did I just examine them just by that, by clicking that? Okay, control panel. Control panel. Used to activate and control the consecration chamber. Usage records show that the ether output during the ceremony was well beyond safe ranges. Okay. Did her head implode because there was some sort of difference in pressure, perhaps? Yeah, so if I actually hover on objects, if they get a brief outline, then they are fully interactable. Cool. Let's examine the coronet limiter. Okay. Found in Gideon's workspace in pristine condition. Component is required to safely install the coronet without causing an ether oversurge. Okay. Gideon's workstation. So we're examining everything right now in order to be able to form some sort of, you know, a concrete, something concrete in our head. What's that? Place the coronet and the recipient in the chamber. The performer and the recipient pray in silence. Begin the song to start modulating the ether. Intensify the ether output by bringing the performance to a crescendo. I don't like where this is going, really. So we can talk to these two people. I'd rather not to right now. Let's just examine everything. Ruben's workstation. Coronet blueprints. Plans for constructing the ether coronet. The purpose of the device seems to be to amplify the user's ether output. The components are amplifier, casing, and limiter. So amplifier, casing, and limiter. So we got the limiter. What else? What's that? The spear blueprint. Found on Ruben's workstation. Plans for restoring a relic that was recently brought to San Walpurgas by Father Augustine. What's that? What's this? The devil's herb. I knew something nefarious is afoot. The abbey must be purified of its scent. I should dispose of any that fine. Really? What kind of herb is that? What kind of herb? Yeah. Okay. I don't see anything else they can interact with. So let's talk to these two people. Ruben, elder brother.
An exorcist? Surely there are no demons here, though. This was an accident, wasn't it? If Gideon is possessed, that will mean he did it on purpose. Horrible.
You must be the elder brother.
Yes, my name is Ruben Garamond. I am responsible for the engineering and design of our implants.
How did Mother Miriam die, exactly?
It was a completely preventable accident. Mother Miriam died because Gideon deliberately flouted the ceremonial guidelines for his own glory. Gideon may be my flesh and blood, but he must take responsibility for his negligence.
Sister Ada, hear Ruben's testimony and judge for yourself whether he speaks truth or lies. The testimony of a suspect is divided into events. You can access detailed descriptions of events by hovering over them. You can manipulate the timeline marker to navigate to any moment in the testimony. Okay? Let's listen to what Ruben has to say.
Mother Miriam came to us to receive a consecration ceremony, but she wanted something extravagant. Gideon suggested setting the coronet to have
and you see that there.
Output. I warned him that doing so is highly dangerous. Gideon convinced her to move forward with the ceremony anyway, since he was going to handle everything. I went back to my tasks.
This part of this testimony is rather long and repetitive. Let's move ahead to the next section. Try to stop ceremony.
When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt something was wrong. I begged Gideon to stop, but he didn't listen.
Wow. As suspected, the conflagration in a rather bloody firework, right? Oh god, oh god, oh god. I've heard enough, let's leave him for now. So basically, I can relieve this thing. And if I hover there, I see that no one can... Well, I see some specifications here, whether this is unverified or not, whether there is some sort of corroboration, as in can someone say that this happened, someone else, and specificity, yes, no, cool. Let's see, let's leave him for now. Let's hear what the other brother has to say. Let's talk to Gideon.
This is madness! I will not suffer this injustice!
Wow. Younger brother crafts the casing and ornaments of implants and handles and the ceremonial aspects of the installation.
I am Gideon the Grand, the greatest cybernetician of our generation.
I already see where this is going.
I am blessed. I don't know what went wrong this morning. My hands are guided by the divine.
I see only gaudy trinkets here. Mother Miriam died by your hands. Is that not so?
No, I would never harm her. I don't know why the voiceover stopped just now. Besides, why would I? She was my patron. In her kindness and generosity, she truly was like a mother to me, and I, her son. I did nothing wrong. The consecration chamber must have been compromised. Let us hear what Gideon has to say. Thank you, Virgil. You're quite a helpful tutorial, man. Keep in mind that Gideon's testimony may differ greatly from Ruben's version of events. Okay, if an event is corroborated by another suspect's testimony, it will be marked as verified on the timeline. Cool. Let's listen to what Gideon has to say now.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
Cool, let's play.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
So does that mean that he says he was alone? Whereas this guy here says that Mother Miriam came to us to receive a consecration ceremony, but she wanted something extravagant. He says, came to me. Yeah, okay.
To prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Ruben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber.
Okay, So let's start from here, sorry.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
So his brother is nowhere to be seen. Ah, there he is.
To prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Ruben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber. Meanwhile, I adjusted the coronet's amplifier.
Wait a second. So she left with Ruben. Let's re-examine what he said about Miriam's arrival. Drag the marker to change the time.
Mother Miriam came.
Interesting. Gideon does not mention Ruben being present while greeting Mother Miriam. Yeah, that's what we noted as well. Let's select Miriam's arrival and ask Gideon about it.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this.
I should remember that I can ask a suspect about any statement in his testimony. Were you alone when greeting Mother Miriam? Yes, I'm certain I was alone then. He insists that he was alone. I wonder if Ruben will corroborate this. For now, let's finish hearing the rest of his testimony. Yeah, let's see the order Ruben
For the
thinks.
ceremony, I ordered Ruben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration.
Why have Ruben do this? Why not open the chamber yourself? I do not want Mother Miriam to have to wait too long. Besides, menial work is all Ruben is good for anyway.
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coronet's amplification at my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
What is he doing there? It looks heavy enough. Okay. Something peculiar has been done.
We began by closing our eyes and praying together to Allah's song. I thought I heard the chamber open. Didn't think much of it.
I like the fact that he has closed his eyes, he has shut his eyes, and we can't see what's happening, what's going on around. Did you notice the door opening?
Then I activated the consecration chamber and began the ceremony itself. The aether output was within safe ranges.
Okay. God. Let's leave him for now. Yes, that can be corroborated by his brother. This has been corroborated by his brother as well, yeah. But not the other way around. Okay, let's leave him. Now that we've heard the testimony from each suspect, let's think carefully. There's only one truth to the chain of events of this morning, and I doubt that either brother has taught it to us. So we must rely on Ein Sof's greatest gifts to us, our minds. I like where this is going. There are three ways we should consider what we've discovered. First way is deduction, since there can only be one truth. If two things don't align, one or both of them are false. If Gideon and Ruben do not agree on something, someone is lying. Or if what they say do not match the evidence I find, then they must be lying. Second is induction. I should base my theory based on what I discover. If my theory does not align with any of the testimonies or evidence that I find, then I should discard it. If two theories are both possible, then I should prefer the one that has more information that supports it. Okay? That said, induction alone is usually not enough. Finally, abduction. I must hypothesize what could have happened, filling gaps in information with my imagination. Okay, this is the fastest and the most powerful way of thinking, but also the most fraught. I should engage in each of three ways in order to uncover the truth. Okay. Sounds like easy peasy, right? Okay. Good. So let's check on the things that we've found. So Mother Miriam's body exploded. Coronet remains. Parts of the amplifier component and bits of the casing have survived the explosion. Door controls, only operable from outside the chamber. User's record show that it has opened twice this morning. So once to let Miriam in, and then a second time from when they were praying. Okay. Control panel used to activate and control the consecration. User's record show that ether output during the ceremony was well beyond safe ranges. Beyond safe ranges. So someone toyed with the control panel, right? Which is there. Coronet limiter found in Gideon's workspace in pristine condition. Component is required to safely install the coronet without causing an ether oversurge. So this one should have been on Mother Miriam's body, right? Because the limiter should have been attached on the crown, or is it not? And the ceremony. Place the coronet and the recipient in the chamber. Cool. The performer and the recipient pray in silence. Begin the song to start. Yeah, I intensify the ether output by bringing the performance to a crescendo. So the intensity must be the reason why the control panel's indications were high, unless proven otherwise. Plans for constructing the ether coronet. The purpose of the device seems to be amplify the user's ether output. The components are amplifier, casing, and limiter. We've got the limiter, but we don't have the other two, right? And spear blueprints. Okay, it's a bit irrelevant, isn't it? These things have been corroborated. Let me ask the brother what he was doing when they were praying. Ruben claims he went back to his workstation. What does Gideon say? Let's switch to his testimony. It's easy. Gideon claims that Ruben opened the door to the consecration chamber. Yep. Let's go back to Ruben. I thought I heard the chamber open, but didn't think much of it.
Gideon convinced her to move forward with the ceremony anyway, since he was going to handle everything. I went back to my task.
Yeah, so let's contradict him. Yeah, because when he says this started happening, Gideon says that he ordered him to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber, so he must be lying. Okay. Wow. Ruben Garamond, you did not return to your workstation after the discussion. Gideon ordered you to open the consecration chamber for Mother Miriam. Ordered me? Is that what he told you? Despite his delusions, Gideon is certainly not my master. I did open the chamber, it's true. I apologize for the omission. Ruben, come on, man. It's a regular part of our routine that it slipped my mind earlier. What kind of routine? What kind of routine? Ruben has amended his testimony. Let's examine open chamber. Yeah, okay, so both Gideon and Ruben says that this happened. It has a shorter time frame and describes a clearer set of events. Yep. Okay. Okay, it weakened his resolve. Okay. His eye of providence glows. Okay, over here, which allows me to enter his sanctum, the digital representation of his mind. Let's see his third eye to enter his sanctum and see what really motivates this suspect. Okay, interesting. Evidence discovered. He's a believer. We only cracked the outer layer of his sanctum this time. Still, let's examine the psychological evidence that we've found. Interesting, this information will help me discern which statements to trust. Found in Ruben's sanctum, faithful servant of Ensof, or so he thinks. He knows that cybernetics are a critical part of the one truth. So he wouldn't have sabotaged, or would he? Would he go against Mother Miriam? Let's quickly examine his statement in his testimony again. Okay, so excellent. Some of the statements are supported by the suspect's psychology. Ah, yeah, because it says psychology believer. Cool. Next, I must find correlations between the suspect's behavior and existing demons. Let's open the demonology. Wait a minute. Let me just suck in one thing at a time. I just want to understand what's going on. This tutorial is taking me from the hand and just shoves me into various different depth of pools here and there. I really need to grow myself accustomed to this. So, demonology. Lucifer the Proud, the prince of demons and the eternal adversary of Ensof, manifests in the ambitious and strong-willed, promising them their heart's desire in exchange for their soul. Beelzebub the gluttonous, simple-minded demon that debilitates the host, turning them into feral beasts. The host is compelled to consume stranger and filthier things, until nothing remains of their humanity. Satanas the vengeful, a furious demon that stokes the simmering rage within the host, preys upon the fervent and the righteous, goading them to take matters into their own hands. Lotan the envious. It's the first time that I actually hear of that name. And you know what? I've actually studied religion. But yeah, okay, whatever. Lotan the envious, playful but deceitful demon who slowly drives the host mad with whispers of their own inadequacy. The host blames others for their ill fortune until the apparent injustice drives them to take what is rightfully theirs. And this one might be the responsible one. This one. I think that Lotan actually possessed one of the two brothers. Possibly Ruben, don't know. To obtain further psychological evidence, I must find more contradictions and present them to the suspect. Now that I have heard the testimony and gathered evidence, I can accuse the suspect. He's a believer. Okay. But what about Gideon? Accuse him of what? To accuse the suspect, I must establish the opportunity, means, and motive of the crime. My brother, yeah. I can try as many times as I wish, but there is only one true answer for each section. Let's try to establish the opportunity. Let's present a section of the suspect's testimony. If you are accusing me of sabotage, when could I have done any of these? While he was praying. Or here. Good. If it's a valid answer, the suspect will be forced to admit they could have committed the murder at that time. Otherwise, the suspect will give a counter-argument as to why that is impossible. If I sabotage something in the chamber, then Gideon would have seen it when he brought the coronet. Ah, yeah, that's true. During the ceremony, no one was inside the chamber other than Mother Miriam. No, because the door opened when they were praying, right? If you're accusing me of sabotage, when could I have done any of these? When? Here. Can I not click that? Let's return. Next, try to establish the means. For this, I need to present physical evidence. Gideon was the one who operated the device. How could have I affected the chamber of Mother Miriam? With the control panel? Ah, with the door controls. I had nothing to do with this. Gideon handled everything for the ceremony. Gideon was the one that operated the device. How could have I affected the chamber? Yeah. And motive. Mother Miriam was our patron. Why would I want to harm her? Good. If he's the culprit, then presented with the correct motive, the demon within him will compel him to speak the truth. If not, he will deny my claim. Your faith is what drove you to kill Mother Miriam. Why would you think so? If anything, my faith is the proof that I would not have hurt a priestess. Mother Miriam was our... yeah. The accusation was unsuccessful, which means I must investigate further. Let's cancel for now and leave the suspect. Okay, just let me do my thing, you tutorial. Stop it, Ada. I want to do the things as I see fit.
But they decided to perform the ceremony anyway. I opened the consecration chamber, while Gideon brought the coronet.
Cool. So the door was closed until this point. Why did you not close it after Mother Miriam entered? Because I knew Gideon was bringing the coronet soon. Okay, let's ask him about...
Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Okay, what were you working on? I was restoring the ceremonial spear for tonight's mass. It makes sense because we saw the spear blueprint here. Okay.
When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt something was wrong. I begged Gideon to stop, but he didn't listen.
Okay, why did you ask him to stop? Why not force him? Couldn't you open the chamber or push Gideon aside? Interrupting the ceremony would have been more dangerous. Had I opened the chamber, the energy would have been let loose into the workshop. Had I pushed Gideon away, no one would have been controlling the energy gathered within the chamber. In either case, my action would have resulted in a greater catastrophe. When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt... yeah.
Then the unthinkable happened. Mother Miriam was killed. This was no accident. It's all Gideon's fault.
Ask about Miriam. No, we don't have any other questions about her. This has been corroborated for sure. This hasn't been verified. So the brothers in these places here have not been verified, their position. The fact that Ruben returned to work cannot be verified. However, let me just ask him of that. Father Augustine, a visiting scholar, asked me to help to restore this relic. I'm quite proud of my work. It should be ready for tonight's mass.
Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Yeah, let's ask Gideon about that.
We began by...
Now that I've discovered important pieces of evidence, let's ask this suspect about them. Let's select any evidence and ask him about it. So let's ask him about the spear blueprints. Okay. So he doesn't want to say anything about that. Let me ask him about that. Okay. Ruben has always been devout, serious, and boring. We can't all be grand, I suppose.
Meanwhile, to prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Ruben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber.
Why have Ruben? Yeah, because he was, he didn't want to have her wait for too long.
Meanwhile,
Let's ask...
I adjusted the coordinates amplification.
What did you exactly modify? I modified the amplifier within to maximum setting. To do so, I have predominantly removed the limiter. But I made sure to replace it before taking it to the chamber. So why is the limiter intact? The current limiter, impossible. But the explosion, how can it be undamaged? Someone must have removed it from the coronet prior to the ceremony. All but ensuring that the ceremony would end in a bloody mess. I had nothing to do with this. Why would I sabotage my own work? Why indeed? Because you have been possessed by... Let's ask him about Augustine. Yeah. Let's try to accuse him. Okay. So, first of all, the opportunity. When could I have possibly harmed Mother Miriam while adjusting the coronet? You were the last person to handle the coronet. If it was damaged during the events of this morning, it must have been while you were adjusting its output. Yay! It looks like we've succeeded in that. Because he didn't say anything. So means. But what means are you claiming that I killed here? By increasing the output? The control panel and the shattered cord indicated there was a dangerous amount of ether output. Yes, I was performing something slightly dangerous, but I had it under control. Clearly not, given what happened, you could have stopped the ceremony. Because I was confident I could do it safely, something else must have gone wrong. Yay! Pathetic excuses. And the motive. I loved Mother Miriam. Why would I hurt her? Present psychological evidence. Is this psychological evidence? I can... yeah. Okay, let's cancel it for now. Let me ask him about Mother Miriam. Was my guiding light. I would have done anything for her, would never harm her, I swear it. Let me ask you about your brother. He's practically my assistant. Come on, man. Don't be so proud. No, let me ask you about yourself. I'm Gideon the Grand, the greatest cybernetician of our generation. Pride is a sin, Gideon. I merely speak the truth, sister, the one true God has given me with extraordinary vision and skill.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony.
Were you alone when greeting her? Yes, I'm certain I was alone then. Let's accuse him of lying. Not accuse, but contradict. Yeah, but
To prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Ruben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration. Meanwhile, I adjusted the coordinates amplification in my work.
how can I contradict stuff?
Praying together to eyes.
You heard the door open? Perhaps I think I also heard footsteps, but it's a faint, vague memory, not to mention it's impossible. After all, Mother Miriam can open the door from within. Ruben was probably working away on some new device or another. I must have imagined it. Yeah, the first time was when Ruben opened the chamber to let Mother Miriam in. The second was just before the ceremony started, when you closed your eyes and prayed for guidance. With the one true God as my witness, I swear that this is the truth. I kneeled and listened to his voice. It must have been Ruben who opened it for some reason. He was always skittish about the slightest possibility of malfunction. Oh, let's ask Ruben about that.
Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Yeah, what about that though? Yeah, he doesn't say anything though, right? this is the part where I get a bit confused. So these things have been verified. That's why they are golden, right? So basically, this is an unverified thing. So we don't know about. So these have been verified. Therefore, this is not the truth. These have been verified, but we don't know during this time what happened actually. We do know that the prayer occurred, so we're not sure about what happened while he was adjusting the coronet and while he was doing these things. And then again, we don't know about this part here, but we do know, and it has been corroborated, that Miriam died in the end, right? Okay. Just ask him. Yeah, it does make sense. This makes sense. Let me ask him about the limiter. It's no wonder that the coronet exploded. The imbecile must have forgotten to replace that adjusting. Despicable. Yeah, so basically it must have been Gideon who killed her. But then again, I need to open his third eye and find his psychological profile there. Let's ask Gideon about it.
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coordinates amplification at my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
Basically, he shouldn't, right? Let me ask him about the remains. So basically, this is the limiter, and I've asked him once. Okay, now this is where I'm actually...
We began by closing our eyes and praying together to Ein Sof. I thought I heard the chamber open. Didn't think much of it.
What happened during this time? Let's ask Ruben.
Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Wait a minute.
They decided to perform the ceremony anyway. I opened the consecration chamber.
Yeah.
Well, since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Yeah, this is actually truth, right? Well, but I found it on his desk, but I can't corroborate it successfully. So let me ask him about Augustine. He won't say many things to me. He loved Mother Miriam. Cybernetics and powers in the eye of the true God. Ein Sof, I'm honored to be of service. So I need to unlock Gideon's third eye.
And then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
Gideon claims that the ether output values are within safe ranges, but the control panel indicates otherwise. Let's present the control panel to him and unmask his lie, finally. Yeah, it was beyond safe ranges. Would that unlock his eye? You lied, Gideon. The ceremony wasn't safe. The control panel's records show that the ether output values were in abnormally high ranges. Of course it was. Mother Miriam wanted the coronet as powerful as it could be. But I'm Gideon the Grand. With my talents, I had it under control. I made no errors. Something else went wrong. I just don't know that. I just don't know what. So he has amended his testimony. Let's examine maintain control. Good. This statement from Gideon's testimony is now verified for two reasons. Specificity, it has shorter time frame, describes a clearer set of events. Physicality, Gideon's testimony now is consistent with the records from the control panel. I can assume that any verified statement like this is true. Okay, so let's see.
Then I rose up, opened my eyes, and approached the control panel. I was ready to begin. We began by closing our eyes and praying together to Ein Sof. I thought I heard the chamber open. Didn't think much of it.
So now the ceremony starts.
Then I rose up, opened my eyes, and approached the control panel. I was ready to begin.
Someone walked behind him, but he just heard footsteps.
The ether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber under control.
Okay, clearly he handled it. Yeah, that's Ruben.
Then it happened. The ether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber under control.
No, you didn't have it under control because you didn't have the limiter.
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coordinates amplification of my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
Yeah. But you left the limiter back. Ah, come on. But you left the limiter there.
The ether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber under control.
Let's ask Ruben about that.
When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt something was wrong. I begged Gideon to stop, but he didn't listen.
Why did you ask Gideon to stop when... Yeah. Yeah. I remember asking him that. It makes sense. This makes sense.
Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coordinates amplification at my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head. We began by closing our eyes and praying together to Ein Sof. I thought I heard the chamber open. Didn't think much of it.
Did Ruben return to work? I have no idea. That's not important here anyhow. It kinda is. Because we heard the door opening.
Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went
So
back to my tasks.
who opened the door? You test my patience, Ruben. Has your memory slipped once more? The door records show that the consecration chamber was opened twice today. Given that Gideon was praying during this time, only you could have opened the chamber. It's true that I opened it again just before the ceremony started, but I had my reasons. Something about the chamber seemed unseemly. Given what happened to Mother Miriam, I feel vindicated in my fears. Tell me, what did you do to the chamber? What did you do in the chamber? Okay.
But since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Okay, this is the same thing. Yep, okay, still unverified though. Let's see. Did you check the chamber?
So I opened the consecration chamber to verify that the coronet was in working order.
Let me pause you here and read it. Place the coronet and the recipient in the chamber. The performer and pray in silence. Yep. Begin the song to start when you identify the ether out. What about this? Is sealed during the ceremony to prevent any disruption. Yeah, so I contradict you with that. No? Okay, sorry. Let's go back.
Everything seemed fine, so I returned to my desk again.
No. This is where you actually remove the limiter. No, where actually when you check
So
the
I opened
chamber.
the consecration chamber to verify that the coronet was in working.
What were you checking? Oh, come on. Yeah, it definitely feels like he took the limiter, he just went behind his brother's back, and then, yeah, he removed the limiter.
Everything seemed fine, so I returned to my desk again.
Yeah.
When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt something was wrong. I begged Gideon to stop, but he didn't listen.
Yeah,
Everything
I've
seemed
heard
fine.
everything from that point
We
of
began
view.
by closing our eyes and
But
praying
Gideon
together to Ein Sof. I thought I heard the chamber.
Heard the chamber opening.
Then I rose up, opened my eyes, and approached the control panel.
Yeah.
I was ready to begin.
So basically, this is when he took the limiter. Yeah.
The ether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber under control.
I'm just thinking how to actually form these questions in order to make them to confirm the things that I'm asking them. So place the coronet and the recipient in the chamber. Yes. The performer and the recipient pray. Yes. Begin the song to start modulating the ether. Yes. Intensify the ether output by bringing the performance. Yeah. So basically, he followed everything to the letter. It looks like Gideon did so successfully. Okay, let's try to accuse Ruben. Okay. I should continue to find more information that I didn't as no will tell me when I'm ready to accuse. That's entirely upon my discretion. However, there are no consequences for a failed accusation. Each failure will bring Okay, so let's try to accuse Ruben now. Let's try to accuse him. So, when was the opportunity? Sabotage. When you checked the chamber. During the prayer, you claimed to have opened the chamber to check the materials. Yeah, this was when you sabotaged the ceremony. The means... by actually removing the coronet limiter. The craftsman was flawless, as was Gideon's performance in the ceremony, but you removed the limiter from the coronet without Gideon's knowledge, which coupled with the coronet's high amplification caused an oversurge. Gideon's arrogance may have endangered Mother Miriam. but you ensured that she would die from it. And the motive? Because you are actually a friend with Augustine. No. Because you are a believer? Doesn't make sense. Something else is happening here. Okay.
But since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks. So I opened the consecration chamber to verify that the coronet was in working order. Everything seemed fine, so I returned to my desk again.
And this is, I think this is where your brother says something different. No, right?
When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt something was wrong. I begged Gideon to stop, but he didn't listen.
Let's ask Gideon about that.
The Aether output was dangerously high.
Okay.
Then I rose up, opened my
Did
eyes,
he go
and
to work
approached-
again? It kinda is for
By
me.
closing our eyes.
He opened the chamber while I was praying. That seems paranoid even for him. But that's what he said. So this is how things happened. The solution should be here.
The Aether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber under control.
But there was no coronet limiter there. Ah! What about the blueprints? No. What about the remains? Ah. Okay, so I just accused Gideon that he told me a lie because he never mentioned his brother Ruben when Mother Miriam arrived. So it says, lies Gideon, Ruben tells me he was with you when Mother Miriam arrived. What? Come to think of it, yes, he was standing there, scowling as usual. He was not just standing there, he tried to stop you. Mother Miriam wanted her coronet to be extraordinary, so you convinced her to increase its ether output. Ruben warned you about the danger, but you insisted to Mother Miriam that the ceremony was safe. I love my brother, but Ruben can be a sniveling coward. He's exaggerating the risk. Yes, the ceremony had some danger, however, it was well within my abilities. I made no error. This is how it happened. So he reconstructs his testimony.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident. Mother Miriam wanted the coronet to be spectacular, so I suggested maximizing its Aether activation.
And his brother protests. You can see Ruben raising his hand. Okay? Now let's see how it carries
To
on.
prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Ruben take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber. Meanwhile, I adjusted the coordinates amplification at my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
Yeah, so this is the thing that he told us. Yeah, he modified the amplifier. Then
we began by closing our eyes and praying together to Ain's song. I thought I heard the chamber. Didn't think much of it.
so his brother, in the meantime, his brother checked the chamber, and then he returned to work again. So all these things have been verified.
We began by closing our eyes.
Okay, let's ask Ruben again.
Everything seemed fine, so I returned to my desk again.
I remember asking him about the coordinate limiter missing, but he didn't say a thing. Everything seemed fine, so I returned to my desk again.
So I opened the consecration.
What were you checking? Yeah. But at that point, the coordinate limiter was missing. Yeah, so yeah. What if I contradict him? What
Everything
if he
seemed
never...
fine,
Yeah.
So I returned to my desk again.
So he didn't go there, but again, he won't accept the limiter. No. He went to the desk, so he went... no, it doesn't make sense either, yeah. No. So you didn't go to your desk, you actually went behind your brother's back and changed something. Oh. Okay.
The aether output was dangerously high, but I had the chamber. Meanwhile, to prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Ruben.
Yeah, because, yeah. What about...
Miriam wanted the coronet to be spectacular. Mother Miriam came to me for her...
He wasn't alone. His brother was there. So the components are amplifier, casing, and limiter. So if... Where's the limiter? So the limiter is missing, right?
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coordinates amplification at my work table, and then placed it on Mother Miriam's head.
The limiter is missing, really. Oh, no, the limiter is there. The casing, right? It's quite hard.
We began by closing our eyes and praying together to Ain's song. I thought I heard the chamber.
This has been verified. All of these have been verified. We have something hasn't been verified. All these blue ones need to be verified in some way.
Meanwhile, I adjusted the coordinates
It is to me.
Since Gideon was going to handle everything, I went back to my tasks.
Yeah, the Ceremonial Spear. Yeah, I asked you about him. About Father Augustine. So he was working. So basically these things might never ever be verified.
So I opened the consecration chamber to verify that the coronet was in working order.
I can't contradict that. He actually did it. Because the door controls prove it. Oh. Oh, I can't leave. I need to actually finish it. Can I talk to Virgil? He might help me. The chamber and the ceremony seem to be at the crux of this incident. We should pay close attention to who opened the chamber and when. Yeah, so Ruben opened the chamber. Ah, his eye is glowing again. I didn't watch that. Ah, he's an envious person. Now let's accuse him again. His motive is that he is an envious person. Found in Ruben's sanctum, why does Gideon get the credit for all of Ruben's hard work? If only Gideon could be exposed for being the fraud that he is. Mother Miriam's death was merely a means to an end. Humiliation of Gideon. Your envy your brother's success. You want his fame, his glory.
Ein Sof sees all, Ruben.
Okay.
You killed Mother Miriam to frame Gideon and take him down a peg. With Gideon gone, a daemon whispered that people would finally recognize you for your genius.
I am older than Gideon. My work is better than Gideon, and more important. But no one sees my work. No one understands my work.
Confess, Ruben. Tell us what the daemon made you do.
Oh, wow. Do you see that here? What's that? A demonic quality?
Demonic corruption runs deep within Ruben's soul. Yet Ruben may still be saved.
Okay.
I must speak the daemon's true name. Then the daemon will be cast out. Ein Sof, guide me. What daemon has possessed Ruben?
Lotan.
Out, Lotan! Leave this soul and return whence you came.
Magnificently done, Madam Exorcist.
This is actually real?
The power of Ein Sof compels you, Lotan. Leave this soul and return to the ether.
Thousands of years, and you humans never change.
Well, Lotan has an English pronunciation.
Never satisfied, always comparing, wanting more. Someone else is always richer, prettier, wiser, better.
In Queen's English, right? Yeah.
Can you ever feel that void within you? Not even me.
Silence, Lotan. Ruben may yet be redeemed. You are a scourge. Without your influence, a good woman would still be alive. Leave humans be, Lotan. I banish you to the ether.
As you wish, but I'll return soon enough. My prince and master Lucifer walks among you. Lucifer will open the gates of hell, and at last, humanity will remember its full potential.
Okay.
Until then, Madam Exorcist, I
Adieu. He speaks French too. So we've managed to have exorcised Lotan.
What remains of you?
Thank.
He's silent and still. Poor soul. Rest, Ruben. Heal, if you can.
Sister Ada, you've returned. Was there a demon at work after all?
I'm afraid so. The exorcism was a success. Ruben's soul has been purged. Unfortunately, the daemon was difficult to cleanse. Ruben is returned to pure innocence.
Okay.
What? The exorcism shattered his mind? Can you bring him back?
It's out of my hands. If Ain Suf wills it, maybe Ruben will heal.
Guards, please escort this shell to the cryostasis cellar. I pray for his swift recovery.
Okay.
Abbot Gregory.
It's fishy.
Praise be to Ein Sof, Sister Ada. You have saved us all. On behalf of everyone at St. Walpurgis, I express our utmost gratitude.
Okay, so it's some sort of inquisition. So this church has some sort of a built-in inquisitorial unit, and I guess that we are part of it. That's why we are investigators and exorcists as well, and we are also clad in red and black and gold, which reminds me a lot of these order.
We are not yet safe. We must act quickly until we locate the source of the demonic influence. We don't understand yet why demons would act after 100 years.
Yeah, they were supposed to have ceased acting against
Holy
humans.
Father, we must quarantine the abbey and the surrounding town immediately.
Okay.
Detain and interrogate anyone who seems suspicious.
We can try, Sister Ada, but it will be difficult, as we have visitors arriving hourly.
Wow.
Much like yourself, pilgrims from afar are here to celebrate Walpurgis night.
So the night. So this is German. Walpurgisnacht means the night of Saint Walpurgis,
It's such
where
a
he is
shame
celebrated.
Mother Miriam couldn't bear witness to it.
Ah, yes. Priestess. We must destroy her body immediately. Traces of demonic influence may remain from her contact with Ruben.
No, Sister Ada, thank you for your concern, but we absolutely cannot. Mother Miriam was a prominent figure and well loved, with decades of service. We must treat her body with dignity and give her a proper burial. Send Mother Miriam's body to the mortuary for embalming.
Your Excellency, we really ought to take the advice of the exorcist.
Mother Miriam's body has been desecrated enough, Virgil. Send her to the mortuary. Now.
So Abbot Gregory might also be corrupted. That's why he insists on saving the body.
Excellency.
Holy Father, you are making a grave mistake.
Sister Ada, don't worry yourself. All will be well.
He's possessed by Satanas or something.
Triumph over Lucifer has brought us a century of peace and bliss. It's horrifying that a demon was exorcised from our abbey, but surely it was the final remnant.
He's quite certain.
The daemon within Ruben spoke of Lucifer's return. Lucifer's ways are insidious. Even the most devout among us have temptations.
It's a shame Brother Ruben fell to the demon, but the rest of my flock is stronger. Faith shall be their shield. Now, please excuse me. This evening's mass requires my attention.
Okay.
We are honored by your presence, Sister Ada. Praise be to Ein Sof.
Even the Holy Father can be foolish then.
Wow. That's surely a logical jump.
Let it not be true that Lucifer walks. But if it is,
Then we are really
Ain Suf,
screwed.
Guide me, that I may unmask all lies, no matter how painful.
Her voice has become more virtuous, of some sort. So the demon's final words haunted me. Lucifer was already among us. I wanted to destroy Mother Miriam's body to purge any traces of demonic influence. Abbot Gregory did not heed my words. Mother Miriam was to be given a proper burial. That afternoon, Inquisitor Virgil sent for me, asking urgently to meet him at the graveyard. And this is where the story goes on. After one case, we are given control of another one. and I will definitely go for that, but not on this episode, because I'm gonna halt right now, because we've just finished the first episode of the game, and insofar it looks quite good, quite okay, albeit it's a bit slow paced, I would have said, but then again, the mechanisms are really offer the conundrum here. You have to be quite meticulous when choosing the correct things, because otherwise you can go on circles, and no matter what logical reconstruction you do make in your head, you have to click on the specific objects and specific entries in order to make sure that the story progresses. And sometimes you also need to be vigilant to see the third eye glowing on the forehead of the victims, otherwise you'll just be going around in circles until it just dawns on you. But then this is it. So basically I think we're gonna carry on playing the game. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell button so as to be notified when a brand new video goes online. If you want me to carry on playing the game, by all means do declare so by liking this video with a thumbs up. That's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.